Patriots, our country was founded on the idea that the people, you, me, everyone that we encounter on a day-to-day basis would elect representatives who would act on our behalf. They would make decisions about policies and laws that would directly affect us, and because they represented us and not a group or entity that says, not a group of entity that says so, but does otherwise, they'd make the best possible decisions on those policies and legislation. Unfortunately, today, that's not the case, as we have seen with the swamp, both nationally and locally. Oh, the screen turned off, sorry. They're acting on the behalf of others, with your money, with my money, with everybody else's money. They're taking everybody's money out of your pocket. They're acting on behalf of people we don't necessarily want them to act on behalf of. Our next speaker is going to touch on an issue that closely follows the idea that taxation is indeed theft, especially when taxation is not the only money grab that we have to endure. It's my pleasure to introduce a great man who retired from the Army Reserve as a lieutenant colonel and decided to continue to fulfill his oath to support and defend the Constitution by founding the Connecticut Republican Assembly. With the help of the GI Bill, he recently earned his master's degree in public policy from Liberty University. In 2018, he was the campaign manager for Representative Bill Szymanski, who won re-election. He is an active member of Granby Republican Town Committee. Ladies and gentlemen, fellow patriots, please welcome Mark Anderson.
You'll hear many inspirational speeches today. I was going to say this won't be one of them. But what I mean by that is I'm going to talk briefly. I'm going to be brief and practical. You're going to hear a lot of inspirational speeches that follow me, and you're going to have a feeling in your heart, I need to do something. The Connecticut Republican Assembly is one answer for some of you, maybe, how you can do something. A well-known Connecticut conservative who happens to live in this town said to me, the problem with the Tea Party is every meeting is like the first. So the question is, how do we continue to connect with each other to effect change in this state? The Republican Assembly was founded in California in 1932. He was instrumental in Goldwater's presidential campaign and to elect Ronald Reagan governor of California. The National Federation of Republican Assemblies was formed in 1997. It's now active in 20 states. In 2015, they had a big convention in Nashville. On August 29th, Donald J. Trump gave his first speech to a Republican organization, and Star Parker said it really helped launch him on the stage, be taken seriously by Republicans, not just the grassroots, who already were taking him seriously. In 2017, I went to the convention in Mesa, Arizona. I was really impressed how professional they were. That weekend, they formed a bond with the American Conservative Union, who put on CPAC. In 2 weeks, I'm going to the convention in Atlanta. And again, the American Conservative Union will be part of that, and I'll have 3 others from the Republican Assembly going with me. The Republican Assembly, to be a member, requires you to be a registered Republican, to agree on 13 principles, and pay a small initiation fee. We have the registered trademark, the Republican wing of the Republican Party. Just to give the titles of the 13 principles: unalienable rights, Judeo-Christian foundation of moral law, self-government, parental rights and education, free enterprise, public policy which supports the traditional family, sanctity of life, a strong national defense, the right to keep and bear arms, growth-oriented tax policy, victims' rights, national sovereignty, and finally, decentralized government. We're now forming local chapters. They can be any precinct size. We're putting an initial target as counties. This coming Wednesday, October 2nd, we're going to have a meeting where you can eat dinner and listen and discuss in Windsor. It'll be to form a Hartford, Litchfield, Tolland County chapter. Now, you maybe ask yourself, what is the function of the Republican Assembly? Why should I be part of it? our president, Willis Lee, who's also second vice president of the NRA, describes the Republican Assembly as the special forces of the Republican Party. Senator Markley is a member of, former Senator Markley of the Connecticut Republican Assembly, and he has really encouraged me, said we have the potential to be the clearinghouse for conservatives, grassroots conservatives in Connecticut. Because we're a formal organization, some of the things we've been able to do is we were one of 10 participants in December 2017 of gubernatorial speed dating, where all the governor candidates were willing to come, jump from table to table. We got to ask them questions to get to know their positions better. We held an endorsing convention in June 2018. We endorsed Tim Hurst only by one vote, and it was right here. I attended a rally right on the screen. It was very close with Stefanowski in our endorsement, but several of our candidates have run for office, including Senator Markley ran for lieutenant governor. A couple have run for state rep, and many have run for local office. Also, we put together a Republican conservative luncheon in January 2019 that several of you are here present were there. And at this event, Senator Markley gave a very inspirational speech, which is on our Facebook page. It's pinned at the top. And we did a panel with the members of the Conservative Caucus about how we can better help them as citizens fight bad legislation and support good legislation. A couple of panel members are here. Senator Sampson was part of that panel, as well as, I have to work on get the pronunciation, Gail, as well as Representative Mastro Francesco. So she was part of that panel. That panel inspired, I would say, 2 or 3 dozen instances of our members submitted written and oral testimony, which had people who had never done it before, including pro-gun, pro-life, against Jane Bate, who's here, her issue, female genital mutilation. She continues to fight that issue, making that illegal. Next January, the first Saturday in January, Matt O'Brien will be our main speaker, and we're going to have a panel on understanding inner-city voters. So I hope you'll keep the first Saturday in January on your calendar, consider attending. But basically, we are broad spectrum. We're Republican, and you heard the 13 issues. But what that does is it gives us a tie to single-issue groups. We see anyone who agrees with us, even on one issue, as an ally. I see Jane Bate is here with Act for America. She's one of the top leaders in that. She was also a founding member, I'm honored to say, of the Republican Assembly. We consider like the Catholic Public Affairs to be an ally. CCDL, I'm happy to see them here. We consider the Republican Party to be an ally, both the state party and the local RTCs. Family Institute of Connecticut, Connecticut Parents Union, the homeschoolers, the No Tolls group. I see Hillary's here. Where is she? I call her the pretty face of No Tolls. That's probably politically incorrect to say. The Oath Keepers are allies, all the pro-life groups, all the Tea Party groups, Yankee Institute, and groups like yours, Citizens of America. We all, whether you join us or not, we consider you allies. Now, speaking of the different groups, when the new year came, I asked myself, how do I want to spend my time? What one issue could the legislator, what bill could they pass that would do the most harm and be the hardest to undo? And I felt it was the no tolls. Once stopping tolls. Once you spend hundreds of $millions to put in these stanchions, then the excuses, they're there and they're just not going to come down. So many, many people, Facebook friends and elected Republicans thought tolls are going to go through, we cannot stop them. And here we are, the session's over, there's no tolls. And they can't put together, they've been unable to get the votes to put together a special session. So James, allowed me to speak a little on the no tolls. Under my speech, I have a petition, if you haven't signed it yet, but I bet most of you have. I also have 5 no toll songs left that not sold. If you're interested, see me after. Finally, if you'd like to join the Republican Assembly or want more information, catch me after this rally. I have some papers. I hope you found this a little inspirational, not too long, but very practical. Thank you and God bless.